Hello, darkness, my old friend. This is Dirk the Red Panda here with Echo. One of the more kinda melancholy, not sure if that'd be the right word, but yeah, kind of pessimistic type of game I play on this channel. So yeah, it's like I go from two kind of fun paced, or like, I don't know how else to describe it other than like optimistic and cheerful games. That's the word. Oh my god, why am I... Midterms killed me this week, to say the least. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I go from two cheerful games to this. Yeah, kind of put this one off for a bit of a while, and I only did my narrations at the time. And so now we're finally going to have a straight playthrough of Jenna's Route and Echo, which we're just at the start of. So yeah, I'm gonna have commentary and stuff in there mixed in with my reading. Here we go. I think this is the right one. Oh yeah, we were in a very intense moment. Here we go. I stand there next to my chair undecided. Okay, here we go. So we want to follow Jenna and Leo, which will eventually get us with Jenna, I think, based on like the whole bisexual question. I watched Jenna's tail disappear through the sagebrush. They're headed down the same trail that I had used to get to Lake Emma. TJ did seem to head off in that direction while we were fighting, though I can't imagine he'd go to the lake. I should go with them to help find the links. I'm also a little worried about Leo. It's been a long time since I've seen him that pissed. When I get there, I find Leo leaning back with his rear up against a big boulder on the shore. Bittersweet memories flood in. The rock is almost as much a staple of my childhood as the actual lake is. It's weird like that. Every memory I have of this place is dreamy and gold-tinged, but it always has a hint of sadness about it, no matter what the situation was. Jenna's standing in front of Leo, her arms folded as she talks to him. I can't see his face, but his posture is sagging and his ears are down, looking way older than he actually is. I stand back for a while, feeling awkward about intervening at this point. Leo occasionally shakes his head, then takes out his phone to look at it. I can see Jenna's getting annoyed, but then she says something and Leo turns his head to look back at me. I seize up for a second, but Jenna is beckoning me with her paw while Leo isn't looking. I start stumbling over the rocks towards them as Leo looks back down at his phone and Jenna starts walking towards me. Just talk to him. He'll listen to you. Wait. Say nothing. I think I'd want to say wait. I'm so vague on my decision for this. Like, it's been so long since I chose this. I look towards Leo, hunched forward, ears down, looking like an angry gargoyle perched on the ledge of a church. Hold on, Jenna. I turn back around to face her. I look back over my shoulder at Leo, watching his ears flick towards us. I think Leo wants to be left alone. Jenna folds her arms and looks past me. I think this is the right decision for Jenna. Fingers crossed. Because I feel like if we just said nothing and went to Leo, we'd end up just hanging out with Leo more and opening things up with him instead. Anyway, you sure? I thought you could get him to calm down. I look at Jenna for a while, realizing that I'd just rather talk to someone more collected rather than a big angry wolf. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, alright. Should we head back then? Okay. As we start disappearing into the sagebrush, I look back in time to catch a glimpse of Leo looking over his shoulder. Oh, now I'm feeling guilty for just leaving this poor guy here. I look back down at the ground, wondering if it would have been a good idea to at least tell him that I felt like he needed time alone. I noticed Jenna looking around, her huge ears perked up wide like sails. What are you looking for? TJ. If it was up to me, I'd be leaving TJ alone as well, but Jenna always worried about him. I follow her through the brush in silence, unsure of what to say. So why didn't you hang back with Leo? I move along with her for a while, thinking it over. I don't know. When he's in a bad mood, he's really only good for a fight, you know. I catch up and start walking alongside her since I was starting to taste the dirt being kicked up by her feet. Yeah, thought it would be a good idea to let him cool down for a bit. I sort of envy the way she's dressed up right now. With her short shorts and tank top, jeans don't exactly breathe well. Agree with you there. Anyway, I finally start to see our picnic again. Carl's still sitting in the lawn chair, his head hanging over the back and smoke wafting around him. Jenna stops and puts her paws on her lips, looking around. Where do you think he went? There aren't many places he could have gone. Her eyes seem to settle and I follow her gaze to a clump of brush and trees next to the river. If TJ had anywhere to hide in the short amount of time that he did, that would really be the only place he could have done it. Without a word, Jenna starts in that direction. I tag along awkwardly, kind of feeling like I'm invisible to her right now. As soon as we break through the brush, we spot TJ. I watch as Jenna immediately goes to his side and sits down. TJ's ears perk, but otherwise, he doesn't look up. After a while, Jenna wraps an arm around TJ's shoulders. I see him bristle for a second, and Jenna says something to him I don't quite catch. Finally, he leans in and hugs her, and I can hear him sniffling. I'm starting to feel like I'm intruding, and I start to back away, but Jenna sees me and jerks her head. Where are you going, Chase? Come here. TJ pulls back from Jenna and starts wiping his eyes. Chase? Yeah? I feel like TJ would be embarrassed to have me around, and he probably is, but Jenna's pretty insistent, so I move forward to stand next to them. I was just telling TJ about the time we used to float the river on the old inner tube. I smile and sit down next to Jenna, stretching my legs out. Do you remember that, Chase? His voice is strained and a little crackly, but he seems to have things under control now. Do I? Always thought it was ridiculous to use one of those things when you could just float on your back. Sorry we're not all living floaties, Chase. We sit there for a while, and now it isn't as awkward. I feel like as if it were just me and TJ, things would be a lot more tense. Jenna has a way of making things feel natural and easy. It's like her confidence is a shield to all my weird, awkward stupidity. I hear TJ shift and sniffle as he wipes his face again. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean... Nope, you stop right there, TJ. He does stop. It's not hard to when she has a tone like that. Flynn is an absolute dick. Never let him affect how you feel about things. He only thinks about himself and how he feels. Right, Chase? I feel like this is just a little bit unfair to Flynn. Yeah, he was pretty selfish, but he did care about other people. At least I think he does, even though he hardly ever admits to it. Probably best to agree with Jenna right now, though. Yeah, he's just not thinking straight right now. I think coming here might have been a bad idea. That really shouldn't matter. In fact, we probably should have gone to the lake. What happened, happened, and there's not much we can do about it. Letting it absolutely rule our lives like this to the point of preventing us from going where we want to go, that's pretty messed up. We all went through it and it was awful. But we stayed friends and here we are. Maybe we should celebrate that instead of accusing each other of bullshit. Yeah. Of course, what Flynn had been saying wasn't complete bullshit. None of us really know exactly what happened. Except TJ. Oh my god. If you're playing other routes, oof. That makes it interesting. Anyway, I didn't have any reason to come here, and if I had the same mindset as Flynn, I never would have. TJ glances over at Jenna. How are things with you and my family? Same as it's been for the past 5 years. I don't know. Maybe you could try. Jenna sighs deeply. Sorry, I didn't mean. No, TJ, it's fine. It's just, she seems to be thinking hard about what she's going to say. Man, the things that Jenna could say about her family, I have too many bad memories about that. That family is completely broken, like there's no fixing it. Going back there would just mean trouble. I've learned my lesson. With Adam and Dad gone, it's just my mom and Jeremy now anyway. Not much of a family to go back to. Has your dad not... Has anyone seen him since? As far as I know, no. But I wouldn't really care if he is back. And if he really is missing, well, Mom never filed a missing persons report, so I guess it wouldn't matter. Yeah, they are a pretty messed up family. Like, even when you play like the prequel to Echo Route 65, it's, yeah, they are very broken. Yeah, the dad is pretty much an asshole. Jeremy is a dick too, pretty much like father like son. So yeah, you can understand Jenna when she's like, just like she doesn't even feel like they're her family. I'm sorry. Why? You're not the one that messed it all up. Oh no! Now she has to bring up all the guilt. Or am I thinking she's the one that's thinking she's guilty? Either way, don't do this to yourself, Jenna, if that's what you think. TJ looks away, his ears down. Jenna sighs and puts an arm back around TJ's shoulders. And here I am bringing everyone down when the point was to make you feel better. Chase, remind us of something happy. I jump, then scramble after being put on the spot. Remember when we called it Yeehaw River? Oh, that's not TJ. I remember when you called it Yeehaw, Chase. You had a bit of a speech impediment back then. Yeah. I remember that. It was kinda cute. It's quiet for a moment. Then Jenna gives TJ a little nudge. So how's school going, TJ? It's not bad. I got accepted into the athletic training program, which is really cool because they're really selective. I think I'm one of 20 that they chose. Wow, that's fantastic, TJ. TJ smiles, though he's still looking at his feet. Thanks. Hey, but you got into Weston. I did. I furrow my brows at that. Hey, come on. Weston is like the stereotypical best school in the country. She looks over at me and smiles. It's great, I know. Just a lot of stress. Sometimes I'd like to get a break. That was a little surprising to hear from Jenna. Usually she was so energized and had a get-her-done attitude about almost everything. That's why I assumed she got into Weston in the first place. Maybe you should take a break then. It's kind of up to you, isn't it? Just because I want it doesn't mean I need it. Hey Tej, weren't you wanting to go hiking while we were here? Yeah, I know things are a bit bad right now, but it could be fun to go. Of course, TJ. I was planning to go with you anyway. Oh, cool. At that point, all of TJ's gloomy demeanor disappears, his tail quirked and his ears up. Jenna looks sideways at me, meaningfully. Yeah, definitely didn't want to do that. I'm not even doing anything and already I'm sweating buckets and looking at the shiny water longingly. Same here, Chase. This is my third video I've done in one day and I'm just sweating a lot from just being in my hot room while it's like, I don't know, like 80 something outside in the fall. September weather is great. I would have jumped in the water by now if TJ wasn't here. For some reason, that would seem inappropriate. Right then, I feel something press down hard on my paw, which is splayed out behind me. Looking over, I see that Jenna has her paw on mine, leaning on it. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going. Yes! Jenna lifts her paw off mine, and I gulp. It didn't really hurt, but saying something, okay, alright. Anyway, it didn't really hurt, but something about her suddenly touching me like that. It's settled then. We should probably get back. We want to get a lot of rest before the hike tomorrow. Is this the end of day? What is it, day 3, I think? Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, that was the end of day 3. But I'm not going to end it here because I don't want to pull an after class and end it 18 minutes in. Alright. So, where are we headed, TJ? Jenna sounds like she's in a much better mood than yesterday. We all are, really. The canyon. Echo Canyon, more specifically. You ever been? He looks at both of us with a grin. Nope. No, me neither. His ears fell a little. What? You know the town is named after it, right? How have you not been there before? I shrug and Jenna laughs. Because you have to walk through 3 miles of snake-infested desert to get there. That makes me bristle, because there are definitely snakes here. I can't help but scan the brush. You really shouldn't worry about that. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. And they do have a rattle, so just listen for it. Jenna grins and looks straight at me. Yeah, you're right. The most dangerous animal you'll find on these paths is the blonde. An involuntary shiver works itself up my spine. Oh wait, totally misinterpreted that. Thought she was making a joke about herself. Turns out blonde spiders. It's a big prevalent theme in the other roots. Jenna! TJ frowns. That's even less likely, Jenna. Great. Now that you said it, I'm gonna be all uptight for the rest of the hike. You're welcome. Alright, let's get going. We want to make it to the top by noon. A few hours in, and TJ's quite a bit ahead of us. I feel a little bit bad about it, but I think he likes it that way. Probably wants to think after yesterday. Jenna and I walk side by side, and she's making sure that I drink water the entire time. Thinking about the tennis ace with Shuichi. Little sips. Gotta take them sips. You should be done with that by now. She gestures at my water bottle, which is still half full. Come on, I've had like 3 already. I take a sip, then almost snort water as Jenna tips the bottom of the bottle. Hey, I made TJ a promise here. You're an otter, you need it. Ugh, stop! I cough a few times, water running down my chin and chest. Even though it feels good, I wipe it away with a forearm. Jenna chuckles before we start walking again. Actually, you don't really need more water than me or TJ. As he can tell you, the water thing is actually more of a psychological need as opposed to a physical one. Oh yeah? I look over my wet camera bag, which definitely did need water. Yeah, you know, back when there weren't really any ethics in research, they separated an otter pup from water, never allowed to swim. That made me pause. Technically, in this day and age, otters don't really need to swim. A trip to the supermarket gets all that done. But something about not being allowed to be in water, to feel the cool, isolated space that I so long to be in. What happened? Depressed, disengaged, neurotic in general. Then when they were done, they just set him loose into the world. He killed himself a few days later. Wow. Yep. I mean, ethics are in place now, of course. Not that the Psychological Association is any better. You probably heard about their role in the whole advanced interrogations controversy. Like the waterboarding stuff. Relates to the real world, right? Yeah, but it really makes you realize how powerful the brain is. It's not all physical necessities. Must have been pretty awful for him that he killed himself. Can't imagine. Talking about offing oneself, though, it got me thinking about Jenna's brother. So, you wanted to talk about Adam. Okay, just making sure it was Adam, because, like, I know Jeremy was in Route 65, and I think it was just him and the dad at the time when we met them. So, yeah, if Adam offed himself pre-Route 65, yeah, it's a whole string of events. I think it may have been clarified in another route, but once again, it's been a while. No. Hold on, let me get the backlog to better read that. Oh, you wanted to talk about Adam. No. Well, I sort of did, but I don't think that would be appropriate at all. I was just wondering, are you guys gonna go see your family sometime during the trip? We talked about it earlier, but I guess you really didn't give an answer. Jenna snorts loudly, tossing her head back. You're kidding, right? I feel my cheeks flush, knowing that I might have said something really offensive. I'm not really in tune with how things are with Jenna's family. Leo dealt with most of that. I mean, aren't you a little bit curious? Curious is the wrong word. Oh? Maybe morbidly curious. Anyway, they haven't bothered contacting me since I left, so as far as I can tell, they're not missing me. Guys, there's a giant dip over there, so watch your step. TJ's quite a bit ahead of us now. I don't even see him anymore around all the boulders and brush. I pick up the pace and Jenna follows. Well, do you miss them? She doesn't say anything for a while, which tells me she really isn't thinking about it. Or, which tells me she's really thinking about it. Two different things. No? She says it, finally surprising me with her with her bluntness. At least not my mom and dad. Not even Adam. Really? Jenna shifts around as she grabs another water bottle out of her backpack and hands it to me. Adam, he had problems. Mom and Dad fucked him up, of course, but he took it out on me. He did some messed up stuff. I debate whether or not I should ask what exactly that messed up stuff was, but I'm way too scared of what it might be. Jeremy, though, I guess I wouldn't mind seeing him again. I give her an incredulous look. See, Jeremy's the one I thought you wouldn't have wanted to talk to. Yeah, now Clint is the one that fucked up Jeremy, but he really was a good person before then. Yep, Clint and the other roots is, yeah, big druggie, pretty much screwed his whole life up. Prevalent in Leo's route especially. And yeah, could see why he messed up Jeremy. Jeremy was, for as long as I can remember, a royal dick. A bully to me, TJ, and Carl. Along with Clint, he terrorized our childhood. That is, until Leo showed up. Which is why Clint hates Leo. I'll never forget the day Leo rammed Jeremy's head into a tree and punched Clint so many times in the face his eyes almost swelled shut. Of course, Leo never got in trouble because neither of their parents gave a shit. Environment is really important to how you develop as a person. I think for a second. Well, you turned out all right. Environment and temperament make us who we are. Some people can just take more. It's clear that her temperament was a lot stronger than mine. Whatever that was. If I had parents like that, I don't know how I would have survived. I take another gulp of water, and it's then that I realize how badly I need to pee. Flashbacks to Leo's roots. No spoilers here. Looking off to the side, I spot a rather large boulder surrounded by sagebrush. Hey, you go ahead. I'm gonna take a piss. Jenna quirks her muzzle and folds her arms. Sure you don't want me to wait up for you? I'm kidding. She turns and starts walking up the trail. Watch out for spiders. Sometimes Jenna's jokes were so dry that I had a hard time figuring out if she was really joking or not. Kinda like my voice in general. With my forced laugh right there. God. Sorry. Back to the story. I dodge my way around the sagebrush and tumbleweeds towards the boulder and start to piss. Jenna really is an enigma. She's nice enough and smart, but she has this edge about her that always has me on guard for some reason. Fur prickles on the back of my neck. Better reading. Anyway, I'm not sure what it is, but something isn't right. I look left and right in the small chance that someone else is coming up the trail. It's weird feeling like this in broad daylight. Normally I don't get so uptight unless it's dark. I hear it's the opposite with species that can see better at night. Something's watching you from the bush. Something's watching you from the brush. A shiver runs right up my spine and I tremble under its influence. As if its own accord, my head whips around, immediately focusing in on a clump of sagebrush 30 feet away. And there, right in the middle, someone's face is staring at me. I can only call it a face because there are 2 eyes and a mouth, but I've never seen anything like it. It's flat, wide, stretched out, sagging where the chin should be. I can't help myself. I yelp loudly and stumble to the side as I whip my body around to defend myself, somehow conscious of the fact that my dick is still out. Then it all comes together. I stare for a few seconds longer, then force out a tight, high-pitched laugh. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a rock. A white rock. And the sagebrush twigs have fallen over it perfectly to give features similar to that of a face. You sure about that? That's all I'm gonna say. I sigh and rub my own face with both my paws, feeling my heart hammering in my chest. I always did this shit to myself. As I lower my paws, I notice a wet streak across the left side of my pants. I hadn't finished peeing yet. Fucking son of a bitch. I hiss and turn back to the boulder, trying to work myself into a peeing mood again. Finally, as I start finishing up, the prickling feeling on my neck starts up again. I try to ignore it, but it's getting worse and worse. I shake my hips around a few times, then zip up and start back around the boulder. It's at this point that I have rereading the whole line now. I shake my hips around a few times, then zip up and start back around the boulder. It's at that point that I give a quick glance back at the brush. The rock isn't there anymore. Yep, you guys know what I mean. People who played Echo before, you guys know. I stare, one paw on the boulder, feeling my fur starting to bristle out all over my body. What? Maybe it's because I'm at a different angle now. The feeling of being watched is overpowering, though, and it's coming from the other side of the boulder where I was just at. I look up at the trail, but I don't see TJ or Jenna at all. I can't even hear them. I look back towards the boulder, wondering if I'm losing my mind. Gritting my teeth, I turn away and start back up the trail at a brisk walk, knowing that I'm acting just like a little kid. Despite that, I feel myself start to panic a little, and soon enough, I'm running up the trail and I'm not looking back. We made it! He says it even though he's already sitting down at what looks like a rock bench. He probably got there a good 10 minutes before us. I'm sweating all over the place, but Jenna seems fine. It's embarrassing because it's only now that I realize that she's been hanging back because of me. Group hug. TJ stands and holds his paws out. I want to protest because of how gross I must look, but Jenna sort of forces me into it as TJ walks up to us. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for coming. Well, we're glad you had fun, even if we weren't able to keep up. As we lean back from the hug, I see Jenna's nose wrinkle. I press my tail a little closer to my rear. Alright, let's eat. We sit down on the rock bench and TJ starts pulling the sandwiches out of the soft cooler. He'd been so excited about our trip that he'd gone to the convenience store by himself at 5 in the morning and made all of our sandwiches. It's actually pretty good too. There's even avocado on it, even if it's the packaged mushy kind, according to him. Yep, Californians like me know are good avocados. None of that mushy crap. We eat in silence for a while, and looking over, I can see that Jenna's deep in thought, chewing slowly. What's up? She shrugs, then swallows. Just thinking about how this might be the last time we really get to hang out is all. That's kind of sad. That's kind of a sad thing to say. Well, think about it. I graduate in a few months, and then I'll be off to the other side of the country. Then you'll graduate, Chase, and I don't think you'll be sticking around here. Maybe. And you, TJ, you might just leave the country. That would make sense. TJ's parents are back in his hometown. I think we'll get together again. It's just a matter of planning it right. It might be a while, but it will happen, and there's always the internet. I'm just saying, I hope Flynn can get over himself before the end of our trip. I don't think this should be our big send-off. We still got time. I lean back and drape my arms over the back of the bench, closing my eyes. I really want to take my shirt off, though. The fabric is almost soaked through, and it's clinging in a really gross way to my fur. Ugh. The sun is beating down on me, shining bright red through my eyelids. If only there was a pond up here, I'd be able to sink to the bottom, the sun reduced to a shimmering silver. My type really isn't built for this kind of weather. I feel Jenna shift next to me, and I suddenly feel her nose against my ear, and I shiver a little. What the hell was she doing? I start to turn my head towards her. Chase? Do you need some musk off? I open my eyes, then squint against the brightness of the sun. What? I said. She leans forward, obviously not wanting TJ to hear. She laughs a little before she starts again. You're smelling a little strong. Instantly, my ears burn and I scoot away instinctively, lowering my eyes. Shit, sorry. No, it's alright. You didn't know you were going on a hike before you packed, but I still have some. TJ's looking over at us curiously as he nibbles on his salad wrap, ears perked, and I don't know why, but I glare at him, already humiliated enough. He frowns. What? Nothing. Jenna's just telling me I stink. Oh. Jenna laughs, then reaches over to her backpack and opens up the top zipper, talking in a normal voice now. It's the female brand, so it's not as strong, but it should get the job done. Thanks. I grumble and snatch it from her paw, instantly feeling shitty about it because I know she's just trying to be nice. Even though TJ and Jenna are probably the nicest people in our little group, it's still fucking embarrassing. I'd actually prefer Flynn's ribbing right now. I stalk off around a rather large bush and pull down my pants. The can is pink and covered in flowers. Great. I grab my tail and yank it up before giving my ass a good, liberal dose of girl smells. Of course, if I had known I'd be doing anything so sweat-inducing, I would have brought my own boy-smelling brand. But I'm stuck with this, smelling like a girl in front of Jenna. Guess it's better than nothing. As I come back around the brush, I can tell something's off. TJ meets eyes with me, then quickly looks down, frowning. I glare. I'd honestly be happier if he just joined in with Jenna and laughed at me instead. She's buried in her phone right now, which is annoying since she told us before the hike that phones weren't allowed. All done? She doesn't even look up, but points at the bag with a foot. Go ahead and stick it back in the bag. I sigh and bend over to shove the can back in, then notice that it's been zipped closed again. Without thinking, I zip it back and widen the gap immediately to find a big, furry orange and black spider glaring at me from the bag. I scream like a fucking girl and jump, dropping the can, stumbling back and falling flat on my ass as I trip over some rocks. I land on my tail wrong and it sends a jolt of pain up my back. Jenna, who already started laughing the moment I screamed, puts a paw to her muzzle. Only one though, because the other is holding a camera phone and she's filming the whole fucking thing. Oh God, are you okay? Got him. She's still smiling behind her paw. Fine. I guess I have a decision to make. Whether to get mad or to just shrug it off and laugh with them. I go with the latter and grin sheepishly. Wow, I'd expect that from you, Jenna, but TJ? What the hell, man? TJ flinches, a sad look on his face. She told me she'd throw me off a cliff, I said. Ugh, we're doing it live. She told me she'd throw me off the cliff if I said anything. Jenna laughs again and puts her phone away before picking up the can and shoving it into the bag. Success. Where the hell did you even get that from? That one rest stop with the souvenir shop? Alright, everyone done? I know you need to get some shots of the canyon chase. Let's go do that. I sit cross-legged next to Jenna, a bit further back than she is with her legs dangling over the edge of the cliff. I guess someone that's so confident about her life and future isn't worried about falling the 80 feet to her death. It's sort of the opposite of Carl, but with the same results. You know, one good thing about this place is stuff like this. Hanging off the edge of a cliff. Lack of people. The mountains. I'll miss that. I hear the mountains back east are small, like hills. That sounds nice too. She picks up a sizable rock and tosses it off the edge, listening to the clatter and echo as it bounces off the cliff. Or down the cliff, sorry. Doesn't really matter though. I'll be living in a big city. Way bigger than Peyton. Are you nervous? About living in a big city? No. I'm more anxious to get started with school, actually. And of course, I'll miss you guys too. A lot. She flicks her ears back at TJ, who's flat on his back under a tree behind us, snoring lightly. I wipe my forearm across my forehead, the oils from my waterproof fur sliding nastily against each other. Sorry, but I pull my shirt off. I need to let my shirt dry out. It's fucking gross. She looks over at me, then her silver and turquoise necklace catching the light and flashing briefly. Jenna looks perfect, of course. The fur on her face and arms is brushed with the lei, held together by some kind of spray, probably. By comparison, I look like a soggy log covered in wet brown mold. Ugh. Some imagery if I've heard it. I brush and look down. The bravado I had worked up to take off my shirt, dissipating under her gaze. She doesn't laugh, though. Yeah, she doesn't laugh, though. I was wondering when you were going to take that off. Looked really uncomfortable. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gross. It's not gross. It's just that what your body does to your... It's just what your body does to survive. Jenna sometimes says things that I suspect carry a lot more meaning than what's on the surface level, but honestly, I'm too dumb to figure it out. I really hope my smell isn't overpowering the spray. But I'm in the middle of leaning to the side to see if I can catch a whiff of my butt musk, and I jolt back up. Ugh. Huh? Don't be smelling your butt in public, Chase. What was kind of gross is that there was another smell. Huh? Yeah. Did you pee on yourself? That. It takes me a second to register what she just said. Then it hits me, and this time I have to close my eyes out of shame. Of course she was going to smell that. Foxes can smell frickin' anything on you that's happened in the last week. Yeah, I did. She laughs. This time, I look away, off into the canyon again. I know it can happen, but it just smells like it was a lot, is all. I sigh and lean back on my paws, letting my head hang back. I debate telling her exactly what happened since it seems so childish, but it's not like she's being mean. She has a demeanor about her that just makes you want to talk. Must be that psych degree at work. I just saw something that scared me a little, so when I jumped, I got some on me. What did you see? She lays out flat on her back, legs still dangling over the side with her paws behind her head. I guess so she can get a better look at me. I avoid looking at her right now, in case she thinks I'm staring. Okay, this is going to sound stupid, but I just felt like I was being watched. You know when you psych yourself up and everything looks scary? Of course. So I felt that behind me, and when I looked, I saw what sort of looked like a face in some sagebrush. Just talking about it right now is getting my fur to prickle. I hadn't really thought about it since it happened, and now that I am, it's only now that I'm realizing how weird it all was. Huh, like a face you recognized? No. It was sort of flat, like it didn't have a muzzle, and white. Just a random human pops up in the game. Hello. I look back at Jenna, but she's not looking at me. Instead, it's like she's looking past me. That is weird. Yeah, but it was a rock. You're wired to recognize faces, so we find them in a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, the twigs and stuff were falling across it in a way that made it look like it had eyes and stuff. But then I realized what it was. But I jumped and I got pee on myself. So that's what happened. What's weird is that when I was leaving, I couldn't see it anymore. I say the last part with a laugh, mostly to hide how freaked out I am about it. When I look at Jenna again... God, did I mispronounce... God, I said Jenna so weirdly there. Redo. Alright. When I look at Jenna again, I can see the fur on her neck has lifted a little. Was probably just the angle, though. You alright? Jenna looks back at me, and I can tell she's debating whether or not to tell me something. I wait. just made me think about when I was a kid. Hadn't thought about it for years, actually. I paused. Ask, don't press the issue. Okay, so we're gonna stop here now, because this is way longer than my after class episode, and it's about as long as my Tennis Ace episode I'm releasing this week. So we are going to decide whether to ask or not press the issue on the next episode. Take care, guys.